This story is about a movie I saw called A Walk to Remember. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. Um, it starts out the two main characters, their names are Landon and Jamie. And Landon comes from this, bad boy perspective. He's the rebel. He hangs out with the wrong crowd. He's always getting in trouble. And Jamie comes from literally the polar opposite, where she's the good girl and she's never getting in trouble. And her dad is a minister for a church, and she spends most of her time at home or alone or with her dad. And she doesn't have that many friends. And so the first time that Jamie and Landon really spend time together is when Landon gets in trouble for something, and his punishment is that he has to do community service and participate in a school play. And Jamie is in this play, and Landon is having trouble memorizing his lines, and so he says, "Jamie, will you please help me work on my lines?" And she is like, "Yeah, I will, but you have to promise me something." And he was like, "What?" And she was like, "Promise that you won't fall in love with me." And he was like, "Are you kidding? Like, duh, I'm not gonna fall in love with you." And it was kind of funny and awkward. And so they start spending time together. And you can tell that they're so different from each other, but they do get along and they enjoy spending time together. But Landon, it also appears that he's kind of using Jamie like just to help him with the play and doesn't really care about her. But as the movie goes on, that kind of starts to change, and you get this vibe that Landon does care for Jamie. Um, and eventually, they end up spending more and more time together, and it's very obvious that they both have feelings for each other. One night, they are on a date, and Jamie looks at Landon and says, "I told you not to fall in love with me." And he says, "What? Like, why? We're so happy. Everything is so great with us." And she looked at him and said, "I have leukemia. I'm sick and I'm dying." And he was like, "There's no way. Like, our life is so perfect right now. Um, we found each other and we're happy." And she kind of runs away from him and doesn't know what to do and goes home. And a couple of days pass, and he finally goes and sees her and is like, "I don't care. I want to keep spending time with you." And one of her life goals was to build a telescope, and so Landon builds her a telescope, and they get to look at it together and look at the stars. And not long after that, Jamie gets really, really sick, and goes into the hospital. And Landon and another one of Jamie's life goals was to get married in her mom's church that she got married in. And so Landon asks Jamie to marry him, and they get married and they spend a year together, and it's great. And then Jamie passes away, and it was such a captivating story. And the last line of the movie is Landon walking out on this dock over the water, and he looks into the sky and says, "Your love is like the wind. I can't see it, but I can feel it." And I think that's so inspiring for anyone that has ever lost someone that they loved, because that's exactly how you feel.